Okay, so I thought I'd do a test on these TASCAM 238 machines to see how much they're running out with one another. So what I've got here is a Roland synth, and I've selected a patch, I don't know if you can see that, that just says pure lead. So it's just a sine wave, and I've patched it into the recorder. Now I've already done this recorder. This is the recorder that's got the new capstan card in, but needs tweaking to find the right speed and everything. Okay, so what I've done is I recorded on a time code on track 8 in that machine, and on track 7 I put the I picked the note A 440 Hz and played it all the way through the cassette. Now I've done the same with this machine. What I should say is, with that machine, when I played back the tone, I found it was just slightly flat. So I could use the vary speed. In fact, you can see here how much I've vary speeded it. So I use the vary speed just to pull it up, so you can see it's just off centre, off the zero. It was on this tuner, on this Korg tuner that I've got. It was what are these gradations? It was just left of centre. Don't know if you can see here. If I use this thing, it was about here. So about 3 cents flat, I should imagine, or maybe, no, on that scale, what's that, 20, maybe 10 cents flat, if that. And I could pitch it up then with the pitch control. Now on this machine, which hasn't had a capstan rebuild, and the board, when I had a look at it, looks quite smoky, quite well used. So there's been some hours on this machine, I'm sure. So I've done the A440 Hz on track 1 and just played it back, and it's quite surprising because the A note now is actually registering. I'm back at the beginning of the tape. Let's go back to the beginning of the tape. The note A440 is actually reading up at B flat, so it's running very fast compared to the recording, if that makes sense. So it was having the note A put in, and as I was metering it, it was the note A, because it's running, it's just metering straight off, straight through the machine. Let's see, right, yeah, the tones come up. So as you can see now, I don't know if you can see that, it's not picking up very well on this. Right, okay, can you see the note letter B flat in the top right hand corner? Okay, so that note A that I played is playing back now at B flat, which must mean that the machine is running fast, and it carries on like this. You can see it's dropping now, and it will actually pick up the note A by the time, if I stop the machine now, fast forward, by about halfway through the cassette, I'd say it's probably on about pitch, and then from then on it retains pitch. So it doesn't, I thought it was going to get slower and slower and slower, but it doesn't seem to do that. So we're on the letter A now, but very sharp, as you can see, and we're about a quarter of the way through the tape now. Okay, so it's dropping slowly, and okay, so we're about, I don't know if you can see in the window there, yeah, we're about a third of the way through the tape maybe. So if I fast forward now to about halfway through, just before about halfway there. So you see, at least we're on the note here, and it's just sharp at this point. Probably about, I think that's 20 cents on this meter sharp. Okay, let's just fast forward a bit more. Let's say that's about halfway now. And what I've noticed with this machine as well is that on the other machine you can see that it's flickering, so the wow and flutter must be worse on this machine, but that might be because of the capstan board. If it's struggling to maintain a steady speed, then the wow and flutter would be affected, I would have thought. So you can see now it's just about there. Now you wouldn't notice this if you think about it. If you were playing this tape back, you would notice it if you were trying to play something with it, because it would start sharp and then it would go flatter as the tape went through. But if you're playing a 15, this is a C60 cassette, so there's 30 minutes on it basically. 30 minutes and then 15 minutes at double speed. So if you were only playing from the beginning to the end of the 4-minute song, you may notice the pitch difference. I would have thought you would. But there, as you can see now, it's maintained pitch. So we're about 3/4 of the way through the tape now, and it seems as well much more settled. If you notice there, it's not flickering about as much. That's like the other machine was all the way through the tape, once you'd got the speed right for the pitch. So yeah, we're almost through the tape. In fact, we're in the last minute of the tape now. So we're in the last minute of the tape, and it's the most stable part of the tape, believe it or not, which is quite surprising. So I'm wondering whether this would, I'm sure the machine would benefit from a new capstan board. What are your thoughts?